Yo, what's up, guys? We are live. Dios, what's up, man? You are in here quickly. Pokemon is just warming up. I think I'm going to talk to you guys about my experience today. I went to a card show, a very smaller size card show, I would say. It's a smaller size card show next weekend. I plan on going to a bigger one. Um, but I think it's indicative of exactly what's happening in Pokemon right now, where everybody just likes to assume things. I mean, we go by the numbers that we're seeing in these charts, right? But what's happening in person out there is like a whole different story. It is a whole different story. Yeah, the card show was pretty packed, but hopefully we can get into that a little bit in a little bit, and also just the conversations that I was having with some of the vendors. One in particular that was actually really friendly. And I could see how, I've seen videos of like vendor etiquette, I guess you could say, how you should be, you know, how you should be approaching people or welcoming people as a vendor. I would say, some of these people don't have any people skills whatsoever. Like, how is it possible that you could be trying to sell something and then when people show up to your table, you're on your phone? Literally, like four guys that knew each other had these three tables because there's some of them are sharing tables, and the tables are pretty big. You have this whole aisle of people, like this I guess consecutive like row of people that don't even acknowledge that you're looking at stuff on their table. Not, hey, what's up? How you doing? Anything you're looking for, let me know. Or if you're interested in anything, let me know. Help you out however I can. Some guys did do that, but the majority of people were like in a whole different world. Like, why are you vending? There's so many things to take away from the show. Um, Even when it comes to like, you know, people come to my channel that are like upset with the way the market is, how expensive things are, and they want to call me a scalper. Like, it doesn't matter in what form they say it, however they write off the comment. They try to tell me that I'm a scalper because I'm buying sealed, and I'm just buying. So the fact that I'm buying out of nowhere makes me a scalper. Go to a show and you're gonna see what a real scalper looks like. And I mean, man, I was there and I was thinking that maybe I'll find some sealed. Yeah, I was wrong. Sorry, I got like a hair from my mustache filling my mouth. Um, yeah. I went there looking for some sealed, hoping to find at least some sword and shield. Nothing. As actually, I'm lying. There was one in the entire show. There was one Silver Tempest booster box at 550, which is not horrible. I think Silver Tempest might be um selling for like $600 now or close to, but they were selling at 550. I think maybe 550's market right now, or maybe that's what people are listing it as. That was there, and there was one Fusion Strike booster box, had no price on it. There was one Sun and Moon, I think Crimson Invasion box, and then that's it. Everything else was Chaos Rising and Perfect Order. So it's so funny that people can come to me and tell me that I'm a scalper, even though I'm selling nothing. I'm not selling anything. I'm buying, if anything. And then you got vendors literally selling everything that was just released: collection boxes, booster bundles, building battles, like everything Chaos Rising. They had some Ascended Heroes ETBs, some booster bundles, and they got these things at MSRP. Like, they did. For them to be there and trying to sell it at market price, they must have got it at MSRP. And I found it funny or ironic that people would call me a scalper while the real scalpers are at these shows. I was even trying to buy singles. I didn't find myself really enticed to buy singles because like everyone had the same singles. They were literally all the same singles. Aside from some random tables, a few other ones had like some really expensive stuff. Like some of the tables had like just pure slabs, like really expensive slabs. Um, but outside of that, everyone else had like the same stuff. They had like some not even much Destin Rival stuff. They had some Black Bull White Flare. They had a few Crown Zenith cards in there. Like nothing too insane, nothing that really drove me to want to spend in there. Nobody seemed different aside from a few guys. One guy had like a full table of just foreign promos, like those Korean promos that have like the McDonald's logo on it, or the ones that have the 7-Eleven logo. Some of them have like a KFC logo on it. He had just purely those. Like that guy was the only one that was really different. But for the most part, everyone else was exactly the same. Like there was no point, and there was almost no point for me to hop from table to table to table, aside from looking for quality cards, right? And because maybe you want some cards to grade, which I always try to grab cards that are grade worthy for that chance if I do want to grade. And not only that, if you are selling a card, it doesn't matter what the card is, the better the quality is, the easier it is going to be to sell. Like even if somebody wants a card for their PC, it's unlikely that you're going to have a not it's likely that you're going to have a harder time selling a card that's really off center as opposed to one that's quality. As a matter of fact, there was somebody next to me, and this is legit happened at the show. He told the guy he's looking for something that was well centered, right? I forgot what card it was. And then the guy goes, "Oh, are you trying to grade?" He goes, "No, I don't care if the back is half torn off. I just want the front to look good for my PC." And that's just like a thing, right? You want at least the front of the card to look good. So I always try to get well centered cards, you know. So I'm just what's going on, Amray? Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you for hopping in. It's slowing down, but not as much as some people would think. I noticed some of my bulk hollows, reverses that keep track of have corrected 20 to 50%. I think it's just a market rotation with liquidity. I think it has to do a lot with the prices. Like, you know, throughout the beginning of this year, if you think about it, people weren't just picking up quality sets; they were looking for quality opportunities, right? Like Ascended Heroes released, and you know it released over $100 at 120, 140, even 160. People were feeling like they were having quality buys, but now at 180, you start to feel like, man, I think we're stretching it a little bit. We're reaching, and we're getting to a point where this doesn't make sense at $180 right now. It's way too early, way too soon for this to be at this price point. People start buying less, right? And I'm saying that because people were spending a lot of money at this card show. They're still spending money at these card show. They're still working out, you know, a few $1,000 deals on slabs. And I'm telling you, it's not that people don't want to spend. It's just that it doesn't make sense for a lot of people at these price points. Because if you were looking for quality, you would be looking at Sword and Shield. But the price point, it's just much harder to buy a 500 and something dollar booster box as opposed to buying something that's worth $130, 40. It's easier to justify something at that price point. If you look at all the booster boxes that we would believe in the long term are going to be worth holding, like Destin Rivals, you know, people are still not buying it at $600. You know, it has really slowed down. And it's so funny because I had just, you know, I told you guys I had just worked out a deal getting booster boxes at 500 per box, and they had a booster box listed, a Destin Rivals booster box at the show listed at, priced at $650. And I just looked at it and I was like, ouch, like who's buying that right now? Like, but at the same time, the vendors, the mentality of the vendors are totally different. Totally different. Hit that like. Yes, hit that like. I appreciate it, guys. Definitely hit the like. It's crazy how someone that shows up at a place after you that has the same intentions as you automatically call just yeah, it's I don't know, bro. I don't even know what to say to some people sometimes, you know. I really don't. A scalper is supposed to be somebody who goes to stores, clears a shelf, or just goes to stores, buys up product, and then sells it. That's what's supposed to be, right? It's not somebody buying, not like me buying at market and holding. Like that makes absolutely no sense. If anything, I'm essentially buying from the scalper, you know. So whatever. But people just, you know, they're upset, so they try to aim, you know, anger at people. When I did our recent show, someone asked why our pack price was so insanely good. We explained because we aren't an actual store and I get things at distro cost. Oh, we are an actual store and get things at distro cost. Yeah. I mean, some stores don't even do that. They don't. They just they're not gonna let that go. They're not gonna let a dollar go. It just Like I said, it's one thing to notice. People want to buy something for $10 and want to be able to sell it for 100. It just is a thing. It's sad, but it is a thing. People are taking profits on the duplicates of single slabs and sealed. The market is going down. The market's going down just for views, right? Could very well be. Facts, right? You agree. DJ, what's going on, brother? Thank you for stopping by. So, like, you know, the vendor mentality is totally different, right? Like, I was talking to a vendor, this specific vendor that I got pretty cool with there, right? I told him that I had interest in vending. I think, like, I don't question that I would make money. I think I would make money. If not, I don't think anybody would waste their time vending. But I really think that I would have fun. Like, I really think I would have fun. And it started off with the conversation of him telling me that it would be fun. He agreed. It's very fun. You also start to expand your collection when you become a vendor because people are selling stuff to you all the time. So product keeps showing up basically to your doorstep. And it doesn't stop. And so it started off there, and then I didn't even get to tell him what I was looking for at the time, and then I let him know that I'm looking for Gen 3 starters, right? So that being Mudkip, Torchic, and Trico. I just wanted to pick up some cards of those three Pokemon. And I actually made a mistake. I saw and Drunk knows I'm looking for those three. I saw a Torchic, a Crystal Guardians Torchic. It was in pretty good condition, not great centering. Um, but it was literally the only one in the whole card show, and I thought he was one of the first vendors I saw. I thought I would be able to circle around and find some other ones that are in better condition or maybe better centering, and I did not, and I completely forgot to go back to the guy and buy it, so I regret it, but whatever. Going back to this guy, we started off just talking about what it would be like to be a vendor, and what his experience has been like, and basically that I would make a lot of money. He was basically saying not only that I would make a lot of money, he just said that I'm going to make more money than I think. And he was talking about how inexpensive it is because of your return, right? So his table was like $100, and he said like basically you make that back with no problem whatsoever. Um, and he was just trying to tell me how beneficial it would be to me and stuff like that. And then he finally asked me, "What am I looking for?" And then I tell him, I want Gen 3 starters. I'm looking for Gen 3 starters. Torchic, Trico, and Mudkip." And he goes, "Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have that much luck with that right now." And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, and it's something that didn't hit me. Like I didn't consider it because Pokemon doesn't stick to a topic. They just throw things out there. Like in Pitch Black, they didn't throw dark Pokemon. They threw, a plethora of Pokemon in there. But he was like, "Yeah, people are assuming that there's going to be more Gen 3 Pokemon in the Rayquaza set, so they're holding, including myself. I'm holding every Mudkip, Torchic, and Trico that I have." And I was like, "Really? You guys have no indication that that's really going to happen, but you're speculating and you're holding product that you could be churning right now because you feel like it's almost like a for sure thing that it's going to go up with Delta Rain, with the new Rayquaza set." He's like, "Yeah, basically, I'm holding all Gen 3 starters, and so is everybody else here. We really think that there's going to be other Gen 3 Pokemon in there." And I was like, "Wow." I was like, "You do know that there was a list that was leaked that has been pretty accurate with all the sets that we're going to release, including this one. And there was a Gen 3 set in there, right?" He goes, yeah, Delta Rain. I'm like, no, no, no. Delta Rain was separate. It was Storm Miranda on the list, and it was actually the Japanese name. It's the exact name. It's been accurate. And the other set that's in that list was the Shiny Ruby Sapphire set. And I was like, so I don't know if you holding to the Rayquaza set for your Gen 3 starters is going to be a thing, because this other set is nowhere in your sight. At least we don't know of anything coming out right now for Ruby and Sapphire, but you're willing to take that gamble." And he's like, "Yeah, because everything just keeps going up. You could buy something this week and it just keeps going up." And I'm like, wow, these little stories that I'm seeing on Instagram where people talking about vendors thinking that everything's just going to go up is not a lie. Like I experienced this firsthand, and I was like, wow, this guy's confidence is absolutely insane with what's going to happen in the market, or how successful he or everyone else as a vendor is going to be. So, and then the show is packed, right? And even though people leave, as people are leaving, people are walking in, and it's like, okay, so even this little card show is incredibly popular, and there's a lot of people in here, and I don't think these guys got the memo that the market is slowing down. Yes, sealed may not be moving as much. But once again, everything is incredibly expensive. The way things have appreciated is not the norm when it comes to the Pokemon market, especially to those that have been around for a really long time. Those who are here who are new may think like, wow, this Pokemon just goes up and it instantly just appreciates, to 500%. But if you are someone who's, I guess, well grounded in a sense, and yeah, you stop to think to see if things make sense, you would stop and look back at history. Even if you got into Pokemon right now, you would stop and say, hey, let me look back and see if Pokemon has always been this way, because it doesn't make any sense. If it was this way, or if it always was this way, wouldn't all these other people that have money have been involved in Pokemon a long time ago? Wouldn't they have capitalized in this market as opposed to just jumping in now? I mean, sometimes I feel like people only use like a quarter of their brain, because you could walk in right now, stop and look back at the history of the way sets have been released, the time that it has taken for them to appreciate, the way that these are appreciating, and you could say, "Wow, this isn't normal." Yeah, I could take advantage of the market right now, right? Let's do that. Let's all do that. We're all trying to find the greatest opportunities, right, including myself. But let's be realistic. Is this how it normally is? Should I expect this to be like this for the long term? The answer should be no if we're going by history, right? But like I said, confidence is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. Just for him, just willing to hold product, just willing to hold cards that he's supposed to be making money on because he feels like it's just going to go up. It's really surprising. And then he even said that he doesn't have to sell everything right now because he's pretty confident that he's going to sell it next weekend. Like, most things don't function that way. If you have a business and you have some kind of material that you like, I don't know, let's say, I don't know, let's say you're selling wood. Let's say you're selling two by fours. You're not going to hold that material, that product, your inventory. You're not going to hold it because you think it's going to go up next week, or because you're so confident that you think that the buyers that are there this week are going to be right back next weekend. That's like a whole different level of confidence, more than I've ever seen in like anything. It's like the way that they're functioning is as if it's just a sure thing. And even though Pokemon, we are in a hype cycle right now, and everything has been going up, I don't think that I would function in a business that way. I don't think I want to just keep holding on. I do want to keep turning, and I think that there are some things that are worth holding if you're going to be here for a really long time. But I think that if I had a business, the vast majority of what I have, unless what I have is actually scarce, I would want to move. Because like Prismatic, a few months ago when it got hot again and people were buying at 150, if I was a business, I think I would have sold off. I think I would have just kept selling off my Prismatic, selling off my Prismatic, and put that into something else. Maybe prepared myself with that cash for the 30th or the Rayquaza set so that I can churn and burn that as well. I don't think I want to hold money on the side, because if I'm a business, essentially I'm not investing. I want to churn and burn. So it's just, I wouldn't run a business that way. If I started vending, I would separate what's going to be my PC, what's going to be cards that I'm going to grade, for example, and everything else is going. Everything else is going. Um, yeah, it's just crazy, crazy to see. It was an experience, and I'll be at supposed to be the next one. The guy was telling me to go to. It's supposed to be a much bigger one, like much bigger. He said I would like it, so I'm going to show up next weekend, see what that's like. If Rayquaza Gen 3, that would be insane, but damn, they would be skipping Gen 2 Johto. Yeah, they haven't really done much for Gen 2. I don't know why they gave us Ethan Slyphologen and Destin Rivals. I can't even think of anything else Gen 2 they gave us. They could be other things. I can't remember though. Right? They gave us Mega Meganium and the Snid Heroes, but essentially Megas aren't Gen 2. And then they didn't give us anything for Mega for Alligator, I guess, but still not necessarily Gen 2. And it's weird, I think Pokemon, and the vendor did have this right. He was just saying, like, I don't think Pokemon wants to let all the air out of the balloon. His words exactly. And it's something that I've said many times. I don't think that Pokemon wants to slow down the hype. I think Pokemon wants to, if anything, slow down the hype. Not slow down the hype. They want to slow down the release of products to keep everybody biting at the bit. They want to keep them hungry. They want to keep everybody wanting more but not getting enough to keep them there. To keep them hungry and wanting to buy, so that when they release the 30th, I think the 30th, I in my mind, what makes sense is that the reason why we haven't gotten the amount of product that everybody wants is because they're really going to flood us with the 30th. Now, I could be 100% wrong, but it just makes sense to me. We're not getting everything that we would normally get, right? Like, just thinking about them releasing all these ancillary products as opposed to printing all these booster boxes. If they really wanted to get product into collectors' hands, I think booster boxes are the best access. Yes, the secondary market price point isn't where collectors want it to be, but if a collector wanted to open up as many packs as possible, the best option was the booster box. And they're actually giving you less and charging you more per pack. If they flooded the market with booster boxes, prices in the market would clearly drop. This is not something that people will just hold. There's nobody out there that has a business. Not even Rudy himself is going to go ahead, buy up all the booster boxes, have his money tied up in the booster boxes to not sell it. It makes no sense. And Pokemon is selling you products that are giving you a higher price per pack. And Pokemon loves the situation. And if I had a business, I would love this situation. Everybody's buying everything I buy, even though I'm selling it to them at a higher cost because the price per packs are higher. I give you less and you still pay me more. That's like that's the infinite money glitch. Like it's insane. But people keep saying Pokemon is gonna take care of us. Pokemon's gonna figure it out. Pokemon cares about me. Pokemon cares about me and my family and my kids crying, and even sometimes I shed a tear. And so Pokemon's going to listen to me. It's not true, guys. I don't think, I think it's just a business. I think the majority of businesses are going to have someone who uh, will facilitate like their speeches, maybe things that they write out, like that message they wrote out for Prismatic and trying to make you feel better because you are the customer base and they want you there. But I do not think whatsoever that they actually care about how we feel. The only time that they will care about how we feel is if we do not buy, because as I said before, the person with the money is the person with the power. It doesn't matter who you are, money talks, and that's how it's been in this country since day one. Right? So just it's a realistic thing, and that's why we have to take advantage however we can of situations, opportunities, because nobody in reality, you hear it all the time. Nobody out there outside your doorstep really cares about you. For the most part, people, aside from those few people you have in your life that are good people that will take care of you, most of them do not care about you. Just like the vendors that I'm describing here that are the real scalpers. That was absolutely insane. Oh man, I will say one thing. I've been careful over in the current market is losing too much trading leverage, aka try not to sell everything. Yeah. Yeah. That show surprised me the way that people are like that confident. They didn't care. They didn't care to sell. Like I said before, next weekend's show is going to be much bigger, and they all believe that they're going to sell everything anyways. Like somebody, like if you've ever met someone who was a good salesman, they're not going to, they, for the most part, will not wait for you to come to them. They're not going to wait for you to approach them. They will approach you. And every single vendor that I thought, I don't know what they were doing, I show up to the table and they're like this. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, you saw that? Oh my, you saw this? He doesn't even acknowledge me. The last thing on his mind at that moment was selling, unless I asked for it. It was, I don't know. The market confidence, I think, is indicative of what's happening in the market. And I don't think that the market is slowing down right now. I think people are picking and choosing. And I also think that the like human psychology is one of the most interesting things in the world. When everything is selling out, everyone will run for it. If everybody believed Ascended Heroes was a steal at $180 and it started flying, if the TCG player sales started skyrocketing, people would run to not miss out because everyone else is buying it. They don't want to miss that opportunity. And it's like the craziest thing. They people will not buy when the opportunity is there if others aren't taking action on that opportunity. It's like they need like some kind of affirmation or a recognition or something to solidify this move, this play that they're gonna make before they make it themselves. It's crazy. Adro, what's going on, bro? Nice to see you here. My collector just keeps going up, even though people put out crash videos. Yeah, it's clickbait, right? So that's why, like, even my live today, it's about like, is it slowing down or is it not, right? Because I don't want to put out like I feel weird, honestly. Like I know people who do content, it's common for them to do like clickbait videos or thumbnails. But I personally feel weird because even though it's just me, maybe it's too much of me. I feel like a little disingenuous, like making a clickbait video. I do because I attracted you to my video with a lie, and that bothers me. It's just me. It might be weird. It might be a little white lie, but that's just me. If I ever said anything that happened to be a mistake, that happened to be wrong. Maybe I speculated and I was wrong on it. It was my honest thought. Like I honestly thought that something was going to go a certain way. And at the end of the day, everybody should be doing their own due diligence, right? You should be doing your own homework and looking into things. Um, but it's just, I don't know. I like the honesty, and I don't know. I have an issue telling lies like that. So, but it's funny. The crash out videos are going to be around for a little while. They might be the hot topic for the next, I don't know. You know what's the funniest thing? Perfect example. Team Market Joey, it's like it seems like he's running out of content because his thing like his thing was that he made a video every single day. Now he's taking like multiple days off before making a video. The content for him just isn't there. For example, he can't keep making crash videos every single day. He has, I guess, no drama to speak of. And it's just an example. People are running out of things to talk about. And because the market isn't moving, it isn't having this dramatic thing happening, they can't talk about anything, right? And then people are also worried about making videos about them speculating on what may move, what may not move, because everyone is scared to be wrong. But investing is that. Like, there is no investment that you can make that doesn't have inherent risk, which means that you're never 100% wrong. And that also then means that every single time you invest into something, even your average stock, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a crypto, like Bitcoin was the top Bitcoin, the top crypto, and now it's tanked a whole lot. It could have been a dividend stock. It doesn't matter what it is. Every single one has an inherent risk. There's no guarantee that it's going to go up, but that's what investing is. And people are scared to come on here and give their opinion and speculate and say what they think is going to happen. They're so scared to be wrong. It's the funniest thing in the world. I don't care what anybody says. I like Journey Together. I've got 8 booster boxes. How many people are scared to say Journey Together is a good set? I think it's a pretty decent set. I don't think it's Evolving Skies, but I think it's a decent set. I went ahead and finally picked up a Whale Lord today because it's so hard to find this card in a good grading condition, and I found one. I think this is an amazing card. Whale Lord has a decent popularity, right? It's got that beautiful team up card with Magikarp. It has several actually, and Whale Lord has a decent amount of people that like it, and I think this card will age well, right? And then even the other, probably the best illustration in Journey Together outside of the Clefairy, because the Clefairy is absolutely like, if there was an SIR that was actually undervalued in this market, like dramatically undervalued, it would be the Lili's Clefairy and the Salamence. That Salamence in person looks amazing, like absolutely amazing. So I picked up the Articuno. Also hard to find because people actually like this card and they're grading it. So I found it in a really good condition and I was happy to grab it. But no one's going to change my conviction. You're not going to alter my conviction. You're not going to make me believe what you believe. That's what you believe. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm still going to say that I think Journey Together is a decent set, no matter how much we see happening in the market, like not in the market, on YouTube, right? It doesn't change the fact that Journey Together booster boxes are somehow $275 last I saw. Let me just look at it real quick. Let's be accurate to the date, right? Where are we? $277 for the regular, 283 for the non-enhanced, right? And it's so funny because everybody thought the non-enhanced was more rare. Danny Phantom put out the other day that they had a second wave of Journey Together that clearly wasn't a splash. It didn't come out on YouTube, but it happened to be the non-enhanced and not the enhanced. So it might be that the enhanced may be a little more rare. But the point is that I believe in it. So I hold Journey Together. And people are scared to say things like that. Like I brought up, how many times didn't I defend Shrouded Fable? And everybody craps on Shrouded Fable. But look at the singles now. Look at the singles now. Like the total set value was once like $500. I'm pretty sure it's like over 1,000 now. It's pretty crazy. Like, blows my mind away. The Lorcana hype is hilarious, even though I have some positions. Well, it's the same thing. It's the same story, right? It's the same story as we had with One Piece during our so-called slowdown or correction period in September, right? And the same thing that they're doing with Lorcana, people are doing with One Piece again. It's just finding opportunities. There's a lot of people out there that are going to sit here. They're going to pick up Pokemon. It'll appreciate. They'll sell off, move to One Piece, take advantage of One Piece, sell off One Piece, come back to Pokemon, take advantage of Pokemon, and just keep doing it over and over and keep taking advantage of the profits in Lorcana, One Piece, Pokemon. They'll keep rotating as long as there's money to be made. Now, whether Lorcana is something to hold long term, I don't know. And I'll say the same thing about One Piece. What's going to happen when the One Piece show stops, when it slows down, and that just comes to an end? Right? One Piece hasn't been around for that long. You can't compare One Piece or Lorcana to Pokemon. Yes, One Piece is big. People watch it all over the world. I watch One Piece. As a matter of fact, I just bought my brother. He doesn't know, but I bought him that magazine with the red Luffy card in it with the promo that I couldn't pick up for him. He wanted me to pick it up for him, and he told me way too late. You got to line up for that thing. I think it was insane. But I picked that up for him. It was a $200 magazine with the promo in it. But the point is, yeah, it's a really cool, anime and stuff like that. And people love it, But longevity, though, we don't know if it's going to be there. It hasn't established itself. And the same thing with Lorcana. Lorcana was a game that is now developing a player base that didn't really have a successful player base before. So, yes, like I understand picking up some Lorcana and having some positions in it, but the hype that we're seeing right now isn't legit hype that's going to last long term. You're probably going to see a correction, another big correction in One Piece and Lorcana as it develops. And if it continues, if it can last, then we're going to see something established historically for these for these TCGs. And will then establish a pattern and get us to a point where we can actually see that they're worth holding for the long term. That they're worth holding for the long term. But until then, it's just a much higher risk than Pokemon, and it's just a much higher risk than Pokemon for both of them, right? But at the same time, higher risk, higher reward. So, you're finding opportunity in One Piece, and a lot of those One Piece entry points before the hype started were way lower than whatever we had available for Pokemon. Same thing for Lorcana. Same, even till this day, there are things in Lorcana that are much cheaper than whatever we have available for Pokemon right now. And so you can find opportunity there, once again, with a higher risk. So it is slowing because it's the summer, but that's all. It's not stopping. Yeah, I think in some cases we will see that. As I said before, as I did say before, I have 4 family members together, like all 4, brother, sister, father, 2 brothers, sister, father, with their partners, all of them on vacation, right? And that's just indicative of what the summer is, right? We always see people going on vacation, but people are still into Pokemon. That's the only thing. The demand has not gone away. People that have gone on vacation will eventually come back. They will be buying again. They will still be in the hobby. Like, it just is what it is, And once again, the price points are absolutely insane right now. I feel like the market is good for at least another year. In what sense? Like stable? Like you would like for it to stabilize like the way it is and just go on for the next year? Or you mean market hype? I think you mean market hype. And I would agree. We do have that wind, what do you call it? Wind and Waves, Gen 10. I think Gen 10 is the only thing that could really, really deter this market right now. If they come out with Gen 10 and people really do not like the Pokemon, I think that's the only thing. But I also think that, like I said before, I also think the confidence is at a different level right now. We at a much higher point when it comes to confidence. And I think that even with Wind and Waves, when it does release, I think people are still going to speculate and say, hey, it is Wind and Waves, and I don't like the Pokemon. I don't have any nostalgia here, but it's Pokemon, and I think that it's going to do well. So that's the only place where we can find something happening to Pokemon, or at least I think. But I think so many people have found success in Pokemon that even when Wind and Waves comes out, even if there's like a stutter step there where people, first try to see what the market does, I think that they're still going to be ready to dispose capital into Pokemon, even though it's a new generation. And also keep in mind, right? This is Generation 9 that we were just in for Scarlet and Violet, right? And they did give us Generation 9 Pokemon. But at the same time, we got Generation 2 Pokemon in there, we got Generation 3, we got a whole Gen 1 set, right? With 151, we had a whole Gen 5 set, and this was all within Scarlet and Violet, which is a Gen 9 era, but we still got all the eras mixed into it, right? Heavily too, right? Because including a whole Gen 5 set is not something that we're used to. Including a whole Gen 1 set like 151 is not something we're used to, right? Every other era didn't have that aside from XY evolutions, I believe. And then you had the Black Bull era, which was years ago, right? But that was that Black Bull, I mean that Black and White era at the time. Now we had this was supposed to be Scarlet and Violet, right? And we still got all the other eras mixed in. So we might find ourselves in Wind and Waves, right? With one of the first set, maybe the Wind and Waves base set, just like Scarlet and Violet base. We'll have some Gen 10 Pokemon, or maybe it'll be the next set, like Paldea Evolved had all those Gen 9 Pokemon. But we're still gonna have all those other Pokemon that we absolutely love and that is gonna bring us nostalgia. So I think people are gonna I that's what I see. I see people with the most confidence I've seen in anything, like with anyone in anything. It's insane, man. Pokemon is nuts. That's one of the reasons why I watch and take advice from you. You are too honest. I try to be honest. I try to be honest every single day, whether it's on YouTube or outside of it. Some people don't like it though. I'll tell you that. Some people don't. But I hope people do appreciate it. Poke what's going on, brother? Thank you for stopping by. Jacob, what's up? Yo, what up, bro? So yesterday was my birthday, bro. Me and my girlfriend went to Hot Topic. They had a Naka collection for $18. I was hesitant, but my girl said we should buy it. I opened it. I opened up Surgeon Sparks and pulled the Pika. Holy crap. That's amazing. Yo, brother. Happy birthday. Happy belated. I've opened a decent amount of Surgeon Sparks and never pulled the Pikachu. As a matter of fact, I never pulled an SIR from actually, I think I pulled the Clements Wit. Actually, I pulled the trainer SIR. But no Latias, no Milotic, no Pikachu. That's absolutely insane. Congratulations, man. That's what's up, man. That must have been amazing. Pulling a card, like you guys saw me pull the Gengar from that Gen 3 box live, and it was funny because Rev is actually here. I didn't even realize. I'm not even up to his comment, but Rev was like, "Wow, you're actually happy," and yeah, I love Pokemon, and I hope you felt the same. My collection jumped roughly $400 in just under a month, mostly prismatic. Yeah, prismatic is still moving. That's the thing too, right? Like with prismatic, even though people like they doubt a lot of things that are happening with prismatic singles, until if it ever happens again, whenever it does, I don't want to act like I'm a fortune teller. It's likely that it will, where we get into a bear market. Until then, those cards are scarce, man. First off, people are holding, right? So they're not ripping. It's not getting ripped by people who, like myself, hold. And there's a lot of people holding prismatic. And then even those that do rip, the chances of you hitting something are like, I think Danny Phantom had a video on prismatic, and it was like a 0.6% chance of you getting something big. Like it's crazy. So those cards are like they're so hard to like find. As a matter of fact, in today's card show, when I went, I think I might have seen no, that was a Sylveon from Evolving. I don't think I saw one. I don't even think I saw an Umbreon today. I don't think I saw one SIR at all for Prismatic. I don't think I saw one. Crazy. I think I set aside 50 journey together bundles. Yeah, they did come out with a wave where they got really cheap for a little while. So I listen, I like the set, and like I said before, if I believe in something, I'm gonna make a play on it and I'm gonna hold. And that's just me. I one day we might get to a point where people see that Journey Together is short printed or ends up being short printed. We, like I said before, Danny Phantom already said that we had a second wave of Journey Together, but it was non-enhanced boxes. It wasn't the enhanced. So those may be a better hold, which are the ones that I have, because it makes no sense to me to buy the non-enhanced for a higher cost than the enhanced, which actually has more to offer. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I think it's going to age well eventually. I think that people, when they, especially when you see cards like the Lily Clefairy in hand, like that card pops so much. And Clefairy is a pretty popular Pokemon. Lily as a trainer is a very popular Pokemon. And like I said before, that Salamence, underrated. It's like $75 right now. They had it there for 75 bucks. And if it weren't for the centering, I would have bought it. Just 75 bucks is nothing crazy anyways. But I'm trying to see the value. $71. They had it listed at 75, but you have listings at 66. That card in hand looks amazing. Amazing. I have two whale lords. Yeah, it's a beautiful card, man. It actually reminds me of the Magikarp, the way that it has like all that detail in the background. It's too bad that it wasn't actually Shinji that drew that card. It would have gave that card an insane value, but it was still well done, in my opinion. Card is fire to have in Japanese. Yeah, it's an amazing card. Rev, what is going on, Rev? What's up, brother? Let's see. The market has to exhale from time to time. I can always tell those who have very little investing experience. Yeah. Once again, like just being well grounded and just understanding what's going on in the hobby and just going on overall, like it's not hard to see. But some people, I think, are in denial sometimes, or they want it to go down so badly that they're going to say it's going down. My long-term plays have been Japanese and English vintage raw singles that are clean. Of course, not first editions, but unlimited have good multiples if graded. Such a slept-on market. Yeah, that's very true. Even the unlimiteds, if they're PSA 10s, have in like crazy multiples on the value. Jay, the Rift Round overnumbered signatures are exploding. They had a game base before the TCG. Okay, I know they had a game base, right? Because that's damn, what's that game that was so popular? The computer game. I forgot. But I know what you're talking about. And I don't know why the name is like eluding me right now, but I know exactly what you're talking about. So it should have a fan base. There should be people that are coming back, not coming back to the TCG, but coming back to look for that nostalgia from Riftbound. So it's very popular. I would assume it's very popular, especially right now. But once again, like just something that hasn't really established itself or hasn't had the chance to. But is Riftbound affordable right now? I wouldn't like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I would not mind grabbing something for one piece if it was affordable, just to hold. I wouldn't have a big position, but I would grab a few things here and there. I wouldn't mind. My fiance loves Disney. She always has. She actually is dying to go to Disney. And so I wouldn't mind picking up Solar Arcana. I actually asked her if she would like for me to pick some up, and she does. But she wants to rip it, which is fine. But even Riftbound, if it was affordable, I wouldn't see why it would hurt to, buy a few boxes and just put them aside. Car shows are packed, insanely packed. Yeah, yeah, they are 100%. August 15th weekend, big deep sea fishing trip. Just got back from the cruise. I am not as in tune to what the market is really doing. I will check after summer when my 175 PSA slabs return. Maybe. Yeah, we'll have to see. Have to see when that submission returns. I did hear. I forgot where it was. I think I was on Retrospecs Live, and I was watching it back. And he was saying that he has, in his experience, when he sends smaller submissions, they seem to work through them much faster as opposed to the huge submissions. But I know that you actually have those. I know you have 175 at PSA, but I know you actually have them broken up to multiple submissions. Just for anybody out there, something that I did want to say, because it just makes sense. If it is working out that way, that the smaller submissions are coming back faster, it's worth having them, so that you could gain your value. I would just send multiple submissions at in smaller sizes. It's just they're going to be separated, but I think it's worth. Uh, The one I went to Saturday, I was ticket 411 in the door, walked around and checked everything and out, left because it was packed, came back from eating, and it was 45 minutes line to get back in. That's crazy. To get back in? Just to get back in is crazy. That is crazy. What's your position on Prismatic? You mean, what do I think or what am I holding? uh, if you're asking what do I think Destin. I mean, sorry, I think Prismatic. I think Prismatic. First off, it rotates out in less than a year. I think that we also have gotten a substantial amount of Prismatic, which is fine. It is still a great set, and I think that it's going to do really well in the long term. But because of all that product that we've gotten, I think it's going to take a little more time than we anticipated for it to age well. Appreciate like we'd like it to. But I think it's still worth holding. Like I'm so confident in Prismatic. I am personally. If you're asking what I'm holding, I have a few cases of ETBs. I have a few cases of the SPCs, and I have a bunch of like 3-pack blisters, things like that. One thing I did fail to pick up for Prismatic was the booster bundles. I do like that I have the 3-pack blisters because I think that people are going to want access to ripping Prismatic, and those smaller ancillary items I think are going to be really, really valuable for a lot of these specialty sets that people aren't going to be able to afford to buy the ETBs to rip, right? So they're going to need those ancillary products to have access to be able to rip. And I think those are key. And that's something that I did miss on. All of Scarlet and Violet is underprinted. In comparison to the demand, especially, probably comparison to the demand that's in here now. Jay doing very little the last couple of months since Ascended Heroes. My gains were 28%, doing basically nothing. Just wait. Time is the key for gains, 100%. Letting things age. That's one of the things that I've been talking about a ton, right? Everything is appreciating way too quickly. We really need to let things age. I mean, but we have no control about like with what the market does, right? So, but age is really the factor here for all of these Pokemon products. It's like a staircase. It needs to sit flat sometimes. Yeah, 100%. League of Legends. There you go. Yes, yes. I do know League of Legends is popular. I do know League of Legends was what's that esports, like I used to watch that stuff too. I didn't play it, but I did watch a ton of esports because I was a gamer myself. People are talking about a summer slowdown, but that's just with the secondary market. The lines everywhere are getting longer. Best Buy, Barnes, Target, everywhere. Chaos is always getting bought. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So the reason why people aren't buying the secondary market is because everything has appreciated so quickly. It's not easy to justify buying a booster box at 250 when it just releases. Like looking at have you guys looked at Pitch Black? The pre-orders. I can't believe that the pre-orders are like still being like they're still selling. I can't believe it. I can't believe people are still buying Pitch Black on TCG Player. $290. Yeah, like we all know, like yeah, every time, and I say it all the time, every pre-order on TCG Player is inflated. But we also have to consider after it inflates, how much is this set going to correct? Right? Every time we go higher, we raise the ceiling and raise the floor. So even looking at like I think Chaos Rising was just here. Where was Chaos? So how did we end up here? I clearly, oh my gosh, I clearly wasn't there. Whatever. That's TCG Player just blows my mind. Right? Chaos Rising before release, what was the highest point? Just want to see what the highest point was. We're at 233 right now. What was the highest point back here? 275 was the highest, the most expensive it ever got to be. We're 290 with Pitch Black. Right? I hate this. Yeah, we're at 290 with Pitch Black. And when does it release? I keep forgetting the date. I think we're like close to a month away still. I think we're like close to a month away. I wish that it would include the oh, here we go. 7/17. Is that because that's the release date? Probably. They're probably not allowed to ship before it actually officially releases if they get the product in early. And I know people got the product in early because I've already been watching ripping ships and people have Pitch Black and they're ripping it like crazy. So, but just think about that. 290 market price. How much is it going to really correct? Luckily, I'm not going to lie, man. Luckily, we are experiencing this slowdown. Luckily, we are, because where would Chaos Rising be, even though it isn't the best set in the world? This set would probably be like 250 if I had to guess. right? But then this set is at 290 already. What's the floor? What's the floor now? Like, this is why people are having such a hard time buying. You come into Pokemon and the set just releases, and you got to buy something for $250 to rip, unless you can get MSRP, which for the most part, most of us don't or can't. I have a pretty massive position in One Piece. Listen, like I said, it's a really well loved anime. I will say that it's a well loved anime. Um, it's been like that for some time. I was watching One Piece when I was younger. Um, I like One Piece as well. I just want to give it time. But once again, people like you are going to be the ones that really get to enjoy that profit when the time comes because you believed in it before everybody else did. And then people like me are going to get into it late if I get into it. I would wait in lines that perfect order ETBs would sit. Chaos Rising does not sit at all, despite the only chase being Greninja. It's so much more popular than versus without poking out. Yeah, more than they realize for sure. Pinner, what's going on, brother? What's up? Flat is a good, healthy, especially during the summer, means enough buyers to absorb profit taking. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I agree. And corrections are healthy for the market. You know, the market needs to fluctuate. It can't just always go up, for sure. Chino, what's going on, brother? Have you checked out Disney Topps Chrome? No, I have not. Why are you telling me this? Disney. I don't look at anything for Disney, to be honest. I'm not into that market. I just haven't it's just not my thing, you know. I know a lot of people like watched Disney growing up, but as a kid, like I actually did not like watching Disney. Like whenever a kid wanted to watch something and I was like in their house, like if it was my cousin, I would despise it. I would hate it so much. I would dread it. I never liked it. The only Disney thing that I remember liking was Gargoyles. And after I got older, I was surprised that Gargoyles was even a Disney thing. So what am I looking for here exactly? Like singles? Is that supposed to be? I don't know what they're worth. I see them listed in Target for $100 here. that looks crazy. But let me know what is the you want me to look up. Good luck fishing, Rev. What is a target fish? What fish? What is that? Five separate submissions. Not bad then. I don't think that's pretty. I think that sounds pretty good, to be honest. Supposedly, it's cheaper to fly to Japan and go to Disney than it is to go in the States. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, in the States, everything is a money grab. You know, like realistically, everything is like they just find ways to really just take all of your money. PGM, what is up, brother? Welcome to the stream. Would you reinvest Chaos Rising into other single cards and upcoming things or hold? I mean, listen, you could reinvest any of these products. You could rotate any set into the next thing coming. It really depends on what you think. For me, I believe Greninja is a very, very popular Pokemon. One of the most popular out there, as a matter of fact. I believe in Greninja carrying the set just as it did in Twilight Masquerade. And once again, even Twilight Masquerade was talked down a lot, right? Like, what is, just as an example, what is Twilight Masquerade doing? Let's go look at what Twilight Masquerade is doing. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys heard people talking down Twilight Masquerade as well, saying that it's not a good set. All it has is the Greninja and the Eevee. The box is at $364. And if this box did not get manipulated more than once, and it's actually still on the TCG player chart, there were, if you guys can see that closely, by where it shows 11 items sold and then it shows the prices, there were several instances where sales were made for this box at $43. Whether it was a real box or not, it doesn't matter because it affected the chart, pulled down the price, and the people listing, the sellers, relisted at a lower value, pulling the value of this box back. And if you look at this dip before this thing got manipulated, this box was already at $330, dropped down because of that manipulation all the way down to $265. And it happened more than once. It actually happened several times. I don't know where the other one is, but it happened twice. And it affected this box dramatically, but it's still at $364. Still one of the most expensive Scarlet and Violet boxes, right? What's more expensive than Scarlet and Violet? Destined Rivals, How They Evolved, I think that's it. I think that is literally it, right? Destined Rivals, Surging is not more expensive. Stellar is not more expensive. Neither is Temporal. Definitely not Paradox Rift. Yeah, it's the third most expensive box in all of Scarlet and Violet, even though it was manipulated to the downside, right? So I have confidence in Greninja myself. This is me. Yes, you could definitely, cycle your profits from Chaos Rising into other things. If you wanted to, it wouldn't hurt to cycle it into Rayquaza, into that set. That would not hurt at all. Um, that could clearly be a move if you can acquire the Rayquaza set at a decent price. That's a whole nother question within itself, right? But yeah, you could definitely do it, especially if you don't believe in the set and you're thinking about moving it and you're just doubting the set. Then maybe you shouldn't hold it. It makes no sense for you to hold something that you don't believe in. The belief in anything you invest in is probably the most important thing. To be honest, it doesn't matter what it is, whether you believe in Bitcoin, whether you believe in freaking SpaceX that has come out, whether you believe in Tesla, whether you believe in Microsoft, Amazon, all these big stock names, the Nasdaq, the S&P, like whatever you believe, you have to literally believe that that's going to do well for you to even sleep well at night because you're putting your money into it. So if you are having trouble holding Chaos Rising and it's bothering you, just off of that alone, I would say move it. And that's just my opinion. You do exactly what you would like to do, but my opinion for sure. And Poké is going fishing. Tuna, snapper. Yes, sell me some tuna. Bumblebee tuna. ETBs or SPC long term for Priz. I think, if we think about how much prismatic we've gotten, I think I like the SPC more because we literally have gotten nowhere close to the same amount of SPCs as we have ETBs. Like it's like so the difference is so dramatic. It's not even funny. Like we've only had a few drops of the SPCs. I think we're getting one more. Aren't we getting one at Costco? And then who knows what's coming next, right? But either way, I like both of them. But I think just comparing how much we've gotten, I think that the SPCs, as of right now, with the current situation, I think that they're better. I think prismatic figure collections are going to be insane if no reprints. Right? They are a more scarce product. They had those at the show as well. I wasn't even going to ask how much were those. Probably $200. But yeah, they they just haven't been printing them. If I think that there was somebody saying that we were going to get more for some reason, but we'll have to see. If more get released, it'll definitely give you at least an opportunity to buy some. But I don't see that getting any cheaper, especially with them saying I think there was like someone kind of a hazard with the pins, right? So I don't know if they want to take that risk unless they fixed that problem. So they probably will get crazy if they don't get printed. Thinking about buying some Pal World TCG. I have heard about Pal World, but I'll be honest, I have not looked into them whatsoever. Are they affordable at least? Like this is my thing for things that I'm not very fond of, or I haven't like been bullish on, or I just don't know of. I'm willing to have a position in it, just not a large one. And it definitely needs to be affordable because I already want to minimize my risk as much as possible because I don't have the most confidence in these things. But let me know. In and what? An Ari signature in the PSA 10 just sold for 7.4K. At release, it sold for 3.5. That's nuts. I mean, Phantasmal did a quick dip to 400 and back up to 450. Yeah. Yeah, it did. 100%. Chinese just dropped their version of Prismatic and they got an exclusive Sylveon full art. It looks really nice. It looks all right. For me, it looks all right. But that, like, these are the kind of things that I really hate. They made that prismatic set, right? And they gave you just one chase. So I would have to assume that thing is incredibly hard to pull. So I'm going to pull everything else that has absolutely no value, and I'm going to pay like $100 for this booster box to get nothing 95% of the time. Like, That's why I like that Gen 3 box. You have like 6 different exclusives in there. It's just a different chase, right? It's so much better. I wish they did that every single time with every Chinese set. Any sealed prismatic is good. Goodbye, in my opinion. Packs will be 30 before you know it. Yeah. But I think that the ones that offer people an opportunity to buy just a few packs as opposed to an ETB or an SPC are going to be really valuable at some point, right? Like the booster bundles, 3-pack blisters. It's just going to be easier to buy a 3-pack blister than it is going to be to buy an ETB. Sunbreon PSA 10, 7K. Now it's crazy. Hell yeah. Insane. Ironhide, what's going on, bro? Yeah, you made it to the stream. Welcome, man. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Sunbreon would be more valuable than the Moonbreon, 33% gem rate, I think. Yeah, and incredibly hard to pull. It's a new drop for 2026 that was released a few days back. Ripped to get exclusive autos from voice actors of the Disney characters. Numbered cards, not crazy hyped now. Think it's a 4th year. Okay, I that's interesting. I wonder if people are going to actually start looking into that autos. Like, I know in the sports world, autos are a big deal, but I don't know if in the like anime world, if that's so big. Buying collection at 75% tomorrow. Has a Sumbreon, pretty hype. Probably going to send it to Pulverstein, flip it. Wow, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like some people don't like Pulverstein and they don't want to support them in any kind of way. But how can you deny the liquidity that comes with a name like Probestein? Like just putting it in their hands kind of guarantees that people are going to buy at market. And most of the time, if you look at Probestein, they're like buying above market, which is insane because they trust Probestein. That's the thing there. Invest in what you know. My investment portfolio has a lot of big pharma. I had a 35-year career in that. Nice. My wife is a pharmacist. Team Rocket GameStop box. The Moltres box you're talking about. How's that thing doing? I haven't looked at that thing in a while. Right, it was called the Moltres EX. Let me just look it up like that because I don't remember. Oh, here it is. $367. I mean, it is a beautiful display piece. I did want one, but I never picked one up. And I'm probably not going to pick one up at $367. 367. It's doing well. It is doing well. I will say it again. Lower entry mark. The surprise boxes are steadily climbing. I got mine for MSRP, and I have 30. That's insane. I do remember talking about the surprise box with you a ton, Rev. What are they at now? Because they must be climbing. Wow, they're not climbing too much. That's $66. That's not bad. They actually have pulled back a little bit from 70. 66. I think the goal is to try to find these locally and get them for cheaper and just stack them because I do like that they have that promo in there. They of course they've got prismatic. It's like once again it's an ancillary product that's going to give people access to the packs plus that second chase, which is that promo. And clearly everybody's going to want the Umbreon one. Buying 28 sets of 3 prismatic sticker collections tomorrow. Love all sealed prismatic. Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. People do not want to acknowledge the ancillary products, and I think that they're going to be the go-to for the average collector that wants to rip prismatic. When it's no longer out there in abundance, right? When it's no longer everywhere, when you go to a card show, like even that was there today. When you go to a card show and there aren't multiple prismatic booster bundles stacked on somebody's shelf, and you have those 3-pack blisters, I think they're going to be key. I think people are going to want whatever opportunity they have to rip a 3-pack blister, just like people go ahead and, like, for example, Deep Pocket Monster and this guy Alex Ketchum on Instagram keep having this battle trying to open team up, right? Like, and they're buying 1 pack at a time because each pack is $100. You know, you're not going to buy any of those bigger products that have multiple packs. It's just way too expensive. But I think Prismatic is going to be there one day, you know, just like 151. Those smaller ancillary products are going to be a big deal. Power drops at the end of the month. Pre-order now. Pre-order where? Let me know where exactly to pre-order, and I will definitely keep that in mind for sure. I'll write that down. I'll actually take that down on my phone once you let me know where to pre-order, and why not? It'll be cool. Pal World is like a goofy looking Pokemon thing with different, I think, weapons and stuff like that. It's like it's Pokemon, but it's not Pokemon. So they got into, like Kev said here, Pal World is a company that Pokemon sued, and Pokemon actually lost, it was deemed basically that they didn't have the rights to all that stuff they were trying to claim the right to. So, what's Probustine? Probustine is a seller that auctions off products. They are a consignment service basically on eBay. I worked for I don't know what that is at all. Probustine is goaded, always list within 48 hours on 1K plus items and sends check next day after auction. Nice. Yeah, it's just like all these other ones, right? What is it? Arcane Archive, DC Sports, all these bigger names, like they're just trusted already. They're not us, right? People don't know who we are whatsoever. So buying from you will be a challenge. People need to trust you, and for that reason, they won't spend as much. So no problem. I think I still have 50-ish surprise boxes. Damn. I got mine for 25, 27 per. I think Drunk has you beat, man, because you got them from Distro. Drunk has all of us beat. I got Shroud of Fable ETB. It will be my first one. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Listen, people, like I said before, man, every set has something for someone. There's potential in every single set. Every single set that you can look back on has appreciated in value. Yeah, some move slower than others. But as I said before, wherever, I'm going to be like water. Water finds the path of least resistance. I'm going to go where the entry point is the lowest and I can find some like opportunity, right? I'm not going to just go ahead and buy the most expensive thing at the all-time high. That's not something I do, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But if you remember, this Persian was $30. It was the chase at $30. It's 83 now. This card was like $15 or $10, maybe less. Houndoom was number 2 at like $27. This card was also worth nothing, right? The Horsey was at like $12. The Monkey Dory was definitely not expensive whatsoever. It was more of a playable card, and that's it. So is this Pheasantipity. Now look at them. They're all in the 40s, 50s, 50, 60, 80, and it goes down the line. Even this Cassiopeia, this trainer, 40. This Cresselia, 30. Beware, 30. What is the total set value? What? Pokédata, right? They have the total set values. Now, I'm not trying to look for history on it. So let's see what the Shroud of Fable total set value is. Where are we? Oh, sorry. They dipped a little below 1,000, but they're right there. 965. This was like a $400 to $500 total set value, maybe less. Maybe less. It's close to 1,000 now. So like all that hate that I got for what? Just for it to appreciate. Last time I checked, Sunbreon is a pull rate is much easier than the Moonbreon. Moon is a 2K packs per pull, and the Sun is around 12 to 14. That's almost 2x as easy to pull. Then they printed probably double the boxes. I don't know. In my experience, I have had shit luck with Prismatic. Even the pull rates haven't really been in my favor at all. But the gem rate is much better on the Moonbreon as opposed to the so-called Sunbreon because it's a freaking moon. But yeah, the pull rates, the gem rate is much better on the Moonbreon. I think the Moonbreon is like a 53% gem rate, while the Sunbreon from Prismatic is at like 30%. Maybe less, whatever they cost at Walmart. Yeah, it's probably 27. I don't know. At 950 a case, Power World might be a move. It's Pokemon with guns, for God's sake. 950 a case though? Why does it sound expensive for something that's just coming out? Is it because of this market right now where all TCGs are taking off? Is that why it's that much, or is it something else? Let me know. Let me know what MSRP for the case is. If you know. Yes, but the Umbreon is yeah, exactly. Pokemon with guns. I'm sure you can order Power World from lots of places, but eBay is the market. Okay. Space is starting to become an issue for me. Yes, 100%. 100%. There's certain things that I'm trying not to buy because space has been an issue, or it is becoming an issue for sure. Especially since the conversation that I had with the vendor today. I mean, even before this conversation with the vendor, I was already really intrigued with vending. Just a way to be more involved with Pokemon as a whole in the hobby. and I think it'll help be more in tune with what's happening in the market. And I think it'll help develop relationships, which I would love in the hobby. Once again, like just to have friends within Pokemon, I think would be amazing. Um, and the experience as well. I think I would have a blast, to be honest. Um, but yeah, so now thinking about space, my seal takes up like all the space that I have. I mean, I have some more space, but it's all sealed. That's taking up the rest of the space that's already being taken up. Now I would have to like think about where I'm going to put like all these things, right? These things that hold the cards at their tables. You know, I'm going to have to get myself one of those beach carts that they keep pulling all their product and stuff with. Um, and it's crazy. It looks like a pain in the ass, to be honest. I saw this couple, they were vending together. The guy was pulling two of those carts, and the girl had like two of those like slab briefcases, pushing those. So it was like four different things, just holding on to things for their one show. But of course, it's probably worth it. But yeah, space it really is an issue. People are sleeping on those boxes, 4 packs and a promo stamp. Yeah, I think so. And people love stamps. They just do. Uh, there are less surprise boxes printed than ECBs. I think so. I think so. I mean, it also wasn't a big deal when surprise boxes got printed. Like it didn't show up on everybody's YouTube channel or Instagram. The ETBs were really the thing that did show up all the time. So we didn't even get notified that much of those being dropped. But I would confidently say I think that the ETBs definitely got printed way more than those. Probostine only charges 5% on items 1K plus. Great way to flip high-end products, and their auctions usually sell at market. Exactly, or more. In Market Plus, yes, or more. That's why I don't buy there. Roxy, what's going on, brother? What's going on? To be honest, this was like a last second stream. You know, I started streaming, it says an hour and 11 minutes ago. I usually don't start my streams this late, but I also took off for tomorrow, and it's my goddaughter's graduation. So I was like, you know what? I didn't get to make a video today because I was out at the card show, and then I went out to eat after. And I kind of felt guilty that I didn't make a video, and I didn't want to make a video specifically about the card show. Like everything I'm talking to you guys about was going to be the video, but I also felt like it was late for a video. It would release late, and my videos haven't been performing the best. I don't think I release them at the greatest times. I don't think I do a great job working with the YouTube algorithm to like actually deliver the YouTube of the videos onto YouTube in a way where it actually pushes them out. I know I'm doing something completely wrong for sure. But this was going to be the video basically. Should I make a video? I don't know. Like right now we have 39 people watching. Thank you all for being here. But clearly my channel is much bigger than 39 people, and this live probably won't reach all 39 people. I mean, sorry, all 2K plus 2.3K people. If I make a video, then I could probably reach everyone, and they could know about my experience in the card show and how, you know, I'm seeing the market move and how confident people are and how it's affecting the market and how people are holding product because of it. Like, I think it's a big deal to know the ins and outs, especially having that conversation with the vendor. I think it would make for a great video that people would be interested in, right? But I'll think about it. Maybe I'll make a video about it again tomorrow. But yeah, this was a late stream. And I was like, you know what? Let me just talk to everybody about the experience I had today. Maybe I'll have an even better one next weekend. Pal World is 12 boxes per case. Okay, that's good to know as well. That's good to know as well. I bet there would be double the amount of graded slabs for Sumbrions, and I'd bet there be just as many 10s and Sumbrions as 60K total graded versus a 30 total graded from Moonbrion. Plus, I hate the crown look. So there's clearly a bias here already, brother. And that's okay. There's a bias. You do not like the Sumbrion as much as the Moonbrion, and that is fine. But one thing we cannot do is fight the market, bro. Like, we can't, right? So if I'm going to pull up both the values, right? And as a matter of fact, I'm going to do it like this because I love price charting. This website, people for some reason don't use it too much, but I love this website for several reasons. So raw, I'm already seeing ungraded, the average selling price on eBay. Let's do it like this so you guys can see it. So clearly it's giving us an average price here of sales on eBay. This doesn't consider condition, of course, right? This one's selling raw for 2,000 and this one is selling raw for 1,585 currently, right? That'll be the Umbreon VMAX 215. So it gives you the option up here, which this is why I love this. You can compare booster boxes, singles, whatever you may be, compare versus other items, right? And then you will look for the item, the actual item. So you would write Umbreon VMAX, and it'll bring up the list. And this is the card. It lets you compare both cards with their history involved, right? And then where is oh, does it not let me include, why does it say ungraded? Okay, let's go back then. Sorry, grade 10. Let's go back. Let's just do it actually. Umbreon again. VMAX. Come on, bro. I gotta write it all the way out. There's no M there. Oh my god. Did I click the right thing? Umbreon VMAX. This one's ungraded, so I'm gonna X this one out, and that was Umbreon EX 161. Just to bring it up while the filter is on. Here we go. Now we're here. Yellow is why is it ungraded again? Oh, I'm a moron. I have to select the filter again. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry. At least you guys are seeing what to do and what not to do. Here we go. Here we go. And this is what I'm saying. We can't fight the market. Like, I understand that you might not like the crown, but the market loves the crown. Like, why is that number? No, that's the wrong Umbreon. Oh my god. Umbreon V? What is going on? Price charting? Oh no, it's me, guys. Don't blame the website. It's me. It's me. I had a feeling I clicked the wrong one. Here we go. Here we go. Much better. So yeah, there's over a $1,000 difference between the two slab prices. One at 4.3 and one at 5.6. Like we really, like, at this point, in the middle here, a year ago, it was like intertwined. They were like similar, but it's breaking off. You know, they're spreading. They're splitting. That one is gaining more traction than the other, and that card is absolutely beautiful in hand, right? And sorry, I'm just trying to zoom in real quick, just to see how these cards are like growing, right? Like, come on now, what am I doing? All right, so just to see how the cards are growing, like they're spreading apart. One is gaining more traction than the other. One is growing faster than the other. And regardless of you not liking the crown, I don't think it's worth fighting the market. I don't. It just you're going to be fighting yourself, and it's going to be a losing battle. Not saying that it's not, that the Umbreon VMAX is not a good hold or whatnot. Let's see what real quick. Just go back to the start, and I want to look up how many of these. I just want to look up the population, right? Population. I'm just going to go here, go to eBay, look at the original listing, and see the pop report. So 5,000 PSA 10s out of 19,310 compared to the original listing, compared to the 21,000 out of 30,000. Like, that gem rate it's more than 50%. Like, that's crazy. 21,000 out of 30 looks closer to like 66%, a little more than 66%. I mean, that matters. We've learned that with the Magikarp, right? We've learned that with many other cards that have low pop. And then this one has like, what is this? Closer to 25% than 30, it looks like, maybe. So I don't know. I wouldn't put myself in a position where I'm fighting the market. I understand what you're saying, that you might not like the card, but a lot of people love them. The rest of the card is fire as fuck. That I can't deny. I think the card looks great. Like, the way that they drew it, it looks like a stained glass, which I absolutely love. I love stained glass. I think it's going to continue to do well, to be honest. And it just is the newer card. in it's also a newer card in the middle of this insane market, right? So as cards are releasing in this market, even though there may be other cards in the past that look better, not saying that the Moonbreon looks better, but there could be a card that gets released right now, and it may not be better than the cards that we've had in the past, but it's released in this market. And in this market, with the opportunity that comes here, cards are going to explode. All cards in this market are exploding that probably aren't even as good as a lot of the cards from years ago. Even though they're half arts, the art may be better, but it's just the case. I've seen 1,080 packs for Moonbreon and 1440 for Sunbreon, but who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I thought the Sunbreon was harder to pull from what I remember. Many more Umbreon from Prismatic will hit the market. No smart people ripping Evolving Skies. Yeah. I mean, you could also say the same for Prismatic, right? You could also say the same for Prismatic because it isn't smart people trying to rip Prismatic. It isn't a smart decision to rip Prismatic because chances are you're getting nothing. So you can say the same about both. Karma, what's going on, brother? What is going on? Congrats on the graduation. Thank you. My goddaughter is 5 years old. Thank you. What was actually moving at the shows? Just all singles, like big slabs, like really big slabs. Like we're talking about 5K slabs. I saw somebody discussing a $15,000 base set Shadowless Charizard. It was raw, but it was singles. All the Rayquazas were gone, of course. Rev, you know that already. I found one Rayquaza, bro. No, sorry, I found two, but I didn't really feel the need to buy a second Crown Zenith Rayquaza. I don't think that this Rayquaza is going to be one of the ones to absolutely take off. I know that every single Rayquaza will rise in value, but this card is not going to be this card is probably never going to be a really expensive Rayquaza. So it wasn't worth picking up too many of them. I bought this one. It's a gradable copy. I already had another Rayquaza like this one as well. That was a gradable copy, but I don't think that it's going to be worth doing anything too crazy. Lucarios were actually also moving because I was looking for these as well. I mean, you knew that. I saw several of these. A lot of them were not in grading conditions. This one is. But then, like, for example, this vendor had it listed at 14. And I guess another vendor, knowing that the Lucario set was basically around the corner coming out in January, he had it listed for $26. Like, and this is what I'm saying. Like, the confidence that the vendors had, it was just out of this world. Like to list a card almost double its market value, it's crazy. Like that's the kind of confidence they had that they ended up they list cards, at that high of a value or above market price. Any good pickups that shows how many people recognize you from? Nobody recognized me from YouTube, which is cool. I didn't expect. This hobby is so much bigger than my 2.3K people that have subscribed to me. I mean, there's other people that haven't subscribed that do know who I am. They just don't resonate with my content. They don't like investing, and it's cool. But I would say that the amount of people that have actually seen me on YouTube in comparison to what this hobby is, like it's an abysmal number. But no, nothing great when it comes to pickups, right? I picked up this Lucario. I picked up this other Lucario as well. And I keep telling you guys in the Discord that I am picking up Lucarios for the Lucario set. I want to be well ahead of the curve, right? This Rayquaza. I picked up this Vulpix. I don't have one. My fiance wanted this Lapras, and she actually picked up a second Lapras. She also picked up this card right here. They're beautiful cards. She liked them. And then, of course, we have a Latios that when I was pre-grading, she saw I only had one, and she likes Latios and Latias. She didn't want to get rid of that one and then not have a second one. So we picked up a second one. Of course, the Articuno from Journey Together. I love this card. Picked that one up. The Whale Lord as well. I love. Picked that one up. She also picked up this Lapras from Crown Zenith. Really nice card. And last is this Meowth from Phantasmal that I picked up as well. So I also was looking for they didn't really have Destined Rivals there either. They had of course, the Mewtwo SIR. Didn't have anything else crazy there. I didn't see a single Moltres, a Nidoking, a Crobat. I was looking for the Team Rocket's Meowth. Is really what I wanted. Didn't see that either. I don't know that, but I was really disappointed. Most of the people had most of the same stuff. They had a ton of Chaos Rising singles. They had a ton of Perfect Order singles. Just all the really new stuff they had. Ascended Heroes singles, not really there. They had a lot of Black Bull and White Flare singles there. And like that was like a lot of the show. Like they did have other things, but I felt like I kept seeing a lot of the same stuff over and over. The same thing as like I'm saying with the sealed. Like it's so funny. Like, can't no one call me a scalper anymore? Of course, it's not you guys, but no one can ever come to this channel again to call me a scalper as they have been in the past. Because I'm selling, I'm not even selling anything. I'm just buying, and I buy at market. These guys are clearly buying at MSRP and selling everything at the shows, everything new. Prismatic booster bundles, Ascended Heroes booster bundles, Chaos Rising, ETBs and booster boxes, Perfect Order ETBs and booster boxes. Like just that's it. Like that's what they had. It was just constant like really, really recent modern sealed. 648 is MSRP for Power World, a case of 12 boxes that have 7 cards a pack, 12 packs per box. It's only 12 packs per box? Damn. 648 is MSRP and it's selling for 950. So it's up 50% from that MSRP value. I don't know. I look into it. I want to see what the cards look like as well. How often are you live? My first time joining. It just happened to show up on my feed and was great. Oh, thank you, brother. I'm glad that you appreciated the live or that you enjoyed. I'm trying to go live every Wednesday or Thursday and then Sundays. I do like the Sunday vibe. I like that, like everybody's home. Because I was doing lives on Saturday, and Saturday is the night that people go out, so like that just shortens the opportunity of people actually finding me, or me just running into people who happen to be home relaxed. Like right now most people are in bed laying down, probably on their phones watching a live, maybe or maybe on their couch just hanging out. I think Sunday is great for that. Saturdays though was a thing. I think I'm just sticking to Sundays, and like I said, Wednesdays or Thursdays. And in particular, it's because Rev isn't available on Wednesdays. And I know sometimes he likes to hop in the live. So I would like to make it available for Rev to hop in. He's been like become a great friend of the channel, of me in particular. We talk every single day, basically, of course, about Pokemon, but great guy. I love having him here. So I really have been shifting possibly to Thursdays, but at least twice a week usually is what I want to keep it up to. I downloaded Oh, you did download the price charting app. It's better. So the reason why he's bringing this up, guys, is because when you look on price charting, and I said this last live for those people who weren't here, I don't expect that everybody to be here. Like when you look up cards on price charting, right, and you see how I looked up Umbreon, right? You can list them. You can put them on like on a list instead of those big pictures. It's for some reason it's only showing you. It shows you the raw value, grade 7, and then grade 8. I remember that it used to say grade 9 and 10, or even like 9 and 10 here, and it will show you the PSA 10 value here, but it doesn't show it. So if you want to look up, like let's say if there's another Umbreon set coming out and you want to look for an Umbreon card, right? What I do on my phone is that I go to the price charting app, which I will show you how it looks on my phone in comparison to the website. I'm also going to write Umbreon on here just so you guys can see that it's the same, same thing I'm looking at. So I will go ahead and look for opportunities in Umbreon, right? I would first change the filter to high to low, and then work myself down from here, and then look for opportunities, cards that I feel like I can pick up in abundance, or cards that I feel like are worth that price point, at that value. So it doesn't matter. Let's say if an Umbreon set was coming out, I don't know, 6 months from now. I would look for an opportunity here. A Japanese Umbreon first edition. This card is a really nice card, actually. If I wanted to pick this card up, it's pretty inexpensive. Probably will rise in value, I would assume, right? Like something like that. I would look things up here. Whether it's just maybe maybe I'll pick up this Umbreon GX. Maybe I'll pick up this promo right here, which actually everybody loves and has a great value in a PSA 10. Maybe I'll pick up this card, right? Just an example, right? So I would look at price charting like this. But as I said before, it doesn't show you the PSA 10 value here. So now you have to click on every card, look back. On the app, though, it has just the raw. Let me just hold it still with 2 hands because my hands are way too shaky. So on the app, it has both the raw value and only the PSA 10 value because I'm looking for cards to grade, right? So I think it'll be easier, and it's much faster for you to simply just look at cards quickly to see the PSA 10 value, and then you can now choose your card that you want to grade, that maybe gives you that price discrepancy you're looking for, where the multiples where you want it to be. So That's why he's bringing that up. I like I said before, I use every site for what they're good for, right? Like I go to Pokédata to look at the total set value. If I want to track total set value for like whatever's happened in the last year, I will go to PokemonWizard.com or whatever. Um, if we're looking for market price, of course, we usually go to TCG Player. What else? There was that Collectrix app that was giving me the gem rates per set. So I would go to Collectrix. I think it's collectrix.com. I forgot, or mycollectrix.com, and I would just use that one spot where you can like look at all the sets and see what set has the highest gem rate. Which last I saw, last I saw Ascended Heroes was the set with the highest gem rate, right? And then like now one that I'm starting to use more and more, and I want to input it more into my videos, especially now that I have an affiliate link for those that do end up wanting to join. I really think that TCG Quant is like a really cool site because it gives you everything else that you see there. It's going to give you your price history. It's going to give you stock that's appearing on the market, which is a big deal because more often than not, when price changes, the sellers do different things. They either remove product or add product, and adding product to the secondary market is a big deal because it usually makes a difference, right? With market pricing, with how the market will start to move, because products that have less listings or less available product tend to move more rapidly than those that have a lot, right? So for like that has that TCG Quant also has like suggested like things that are like buy opportunities, that where it's triggering buy signals, where the value of a certain product makes sense in comparison to how many are listed, and things like that. It'll actually signal them for you and tell you what's a good buy at the moment, and then it gives you like its confidence on this set, whether it's a good set with a good chase, whether it's a top set heavy chase, top heavy set or not. Like it's got a lot, and it just keeps growing. He keeps adding on, and this is from a Poke Profit. He keeps adding on different things to the site. Like I actually messaged him and asked him to add in the like a total set value, a total set value tracker, because it makes a difference for us to see how the sets are tracking, right? Like to see why certain sets are appreciating in value. Not only that, sometimes looking at how the total set value is moving can determine where the sealed product is going to go, right? Like the single, when the singles move, usually the sealed product follows, or when the sealed product moves, usually the singles follow. So if you can catch one of these ahead of time and you're tracking it, you might be able to make a move before the rest of the market does, right? So that's a big thing. And I asked him to actually input that into the site. So he's working on many things. Hopefully he puts that in at some point soon. But I think that's a great site. It just to get the best out of the site, you would have to subscribe to the site. I forgot what it costs monthly, but I know most people don't want to subscribe. But for those who do want to get that much more out of a site, I think it's worth it. Karma, I'm blaming the site. Me too. Me too. I definitely didn't mess up. Where can I pre-order Power? And he said eBay, I think. Yes, but look at how many are graded. Both have 30K graded now. They're still printing the Sumbreon. So I bet after all is said and done, there'll be more than 60K graded. I bet 20K 10s will be there. Yes. Probably 60K graded. If we do keep up with the numbers, there are still more, Moonbreons actually showing up to the market, clearly in a much slower rate. But I don't know, man. It's hard to say that those Sunbreons are going to be gradable. It doesn't. There's nothing that we can say. Like, we do use these numbers to try to determine gem rates, but you also have to consider that there are cards for both. Um, there are cards that get printed that are not gradable whatsoever, and people will never grade them. So those numbers we'll never see. We'll never see the true numbers of what these gem rates really are. But who knows, man? You also have to consider how much time it's going to take, right? If we have 5,000 PSA 10s, Umbreons from Prismatic, and Prismatic has been out for how long now? A year and 5 months, I believe, right? Or 4 months. How fast do you think that's going to happen? That's going to take some time. That we're going to have so much less PSA 10s of the Prismatic Umbreon than the evolving one for a good amount of time. like a good amount of time. And those people that were ripping, right, were getting a lot of this product at MSRP, maybe ripping ships and stuff like that. But the more expensive it gets, that ripping is going to slow down. So think about that. They're going to rip less, right? It is hard to pull. They're going to rip less. The gem rate is lower. Like you have to take all that into account. Prismatic is not like the most affordable set to rip, right? It's tough. We ripped Descended Heroes for Father's Day. Nice. What'd you pull? Did you pull something good at least? Just looked it up. I'm right. Sunbreon pull rates are 1,400 on average and 21. Yeah, I mean, they also did steal a ton of those, right? Wasn't that one of the sets that had like the chase card stolen? I think the the Moonbreon from Evolving, a whole bunch of those were stolen, as were the Espeon VMAX from Fusion and the Gengar, right? I think it was those. The poster of the collection Lucario should be bought heavy. Yeah. I have one sealed case. Like I said before, I was buying so many different things that I stopped looking at that collection box. There's just so much happening in the market to the point where I stopped looking at the collection box, was looking at every other item. And then I think a lot of it also has to do with me being a content creator, where I'm looking at all aspects of the market, and it just took my mind off of this box that I kept preaching to you guys. Yeah, I preached this box to you guys so many times to buy when it was like $120, specifically the Gardevoir one. I think at that time the Lucario one was 127 and the Gardevoir one was 117. And I spoke about these boxes so much, and now they're $160. And they are printing more than double the boxes for Sun than Moon. So if that's 2 times easier to pull and 2 times, yes, but they're also printing ETBs. We don't have booster boxes for Prismatic. So if you're comparing boxes, you're comparing 36-pack boxes to 9-pack boxes, right? It's not like they printed a little bit of Evolving. There's a good amount of Evolving out there, and it's kept sealed, of course, but there's a good amount out there. It's not like there's just a little bit out there, right? Where that's a main set, right? There's booster boxes out there for those. There's not. That doesn't exist for Prismatic. So I don't know, man. If you look at, like I said, like if you look at the numbers, they gave us the print numbers, right? They printed 10 million cards. Last year they printed 10.2. All right, if we're looking at the numbers for around the time that Evolving was, like, what year that Evolving? What was the year? Evolving Skies release date was 2021. I want to see real quick. $19.1 billion. Sorry, it was the 10. So we're comparing 10 billion to 9.1 billion. 1 billion. I mean, I'm pretty sure the market didn't even feel that, like, and like I said before, booster boxes compared to ETBs, there aren't going to be that many. Like, the difference can't be that crazy. What city am I in? I'm in New York. I am in New York. Nice selection, Jay. I like that Warlord. Yeah, I would listen. I was just looking around. They kept asking me. They saw me with my Gengar hat, and they were like, "Oh, Gengar guy, I got 2 Gengars right here." I'm like, yeah, I'm just, bro. I'm just looking, and of course, he's showing me like some crazy expensive Gengar. But I'm like, no, I'm not looking for anything in particular. I'm really just looking. Of course, I'm looking for gradable copies of cards, and just like we're seeing with all the other people who sell, they're in it for the money, even if they are collectors. Like I said, I did find gradable cards. There were gradable cards out there, but a lot of people didn't have gradable cards, and of course, it's because they grade as well. That's the only way I could assume that, because you are going to have gradable cards if you are ripping, if you're buying, like it's going to come. But a lot of people don't want to put those out. And the reason they don't have singles is because they don't rip their product. Yeah. Sunday's the best day for me. Yeah, I think Sunday's a good day in general. You got my sub, by the way. Thank you, brother. Hey, I hope you enjoy your stay here at JayKetchumTCG. Oh, and Sim is agreeing. Thank you, thank you. Hey, I appreciate it. I'm just trying to have fun with this stuff. You guys will get to know me. If you do, for all you guys here, if you want to join the Discord, Discord is always in the description. We talk singles, sealed, and anything Pokemon related. Uh, Thankfully, we don't have anybody that's disrespectful there, which I would get rid of instantly. And everyone in there is helpful, and there's so many people in there that can provide help in many different ways. So, uh, called me out, called me out to a T, kick back in what? Oh, called me out to a T, kicked back in bed on my phone. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what's so nice about a Sunday night stream or a Sunday afternoon stream. People are home. Like even me, like you know, my girl always knew like if we had to do something, I don't want to do it on a Sunday. Catch me on a Saturday, catch me Friday afternoon when I come home from work, whatever you want to do. I don't even care if it's a freaking family event and your father wants us to go hang out in his backyard and play some games and have some drinks. I don't want to do it on Sunday. Sunday is a day that I want to chill, sit back and relax and just do the little things that I like and I can enjoy while being home and I'm relaxed. So I figured that's what other people are doing as well, right? Would you recommend to buy one ETB for 151? Thank you. Holy crap. I think personally for me, I think that boat is long gone. I mean, it's $600. I mean, um, it's hard, man. You know what it is too? Like, I also recognize that even though there are products that are amazing out there, like an Evolving Skies booster box, right? Amazing set, set to be one of the best, if not the best set ever made, right? But, that's debatable. But even Evolving Skies isn't flying off the shelves. It's selling at that price point. It's still selling, but it's like it's a small amount at a time, right? And if you're not a trusted seller, how much harder is it going to be for you to sell? Now, things do move. I think that if you are willing to hold, like everything else, it will fluctuate. I think, especially if you wait till the next hype cycle, I think, in my opinion, I think that it would definitely one day be at $1,000 for a regular ETB, right? We got to be at like 600 or 650 maybe for the regular ETB. It's just so hard when somebody asks me like my opinion on something like that because, the entry point sucks. And in the time that there's one ETB is going to appreciate from 609, which is what it is right now, to 1,000, you could have split that 600 into 3 booster boxes that in the same time could have probably made you more money. Like that's just what I think. That's all I think, honestly. Um, so I mean, hopefully that helps you at least understand where I am, how I'm seeing these things. Because yeah, it is a great product, but it's a lot to put into one product. That's an ETB. You know, um, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. Hopefully that helps. Jay, have you found any good copies of the Paldean Lucario? You're talking about the shiny Lucario? Are you, is that what you're talking about? Right, the little shiny one. I think I bought one on eBay. I'm pretty sure I could find more of those on eBay. I don't think many people are buying that specific copy of for the Lucario. Oh, I did want to show you this. Actually, let me go there and make sure I'm even signed in first on eBay. Oh, I am signed in just to show you my purchases. The Lucario that I bought a ton of the other day. And you know what's funny? Like I like buying promos, of course, with a Cosmo Hollow and a stamp of a Pokemon. Is Lucario a legendary or a pseudo legendary? Whatever he is, Lucario is like popular enough to be considered, in my eyes, like looked at as a legendary. He's really popular. So I bought a ton of these. I bought a ton of these. This is a Scarlet and Violet build and battle Lucario promo. I bought a ton of these. Look how cheap. $1.69. Watch. Lucario. How many of these was this one? 10. This is this one? doesn't tell you the quantity, because for some of these I bought like 5, 4, 10 again, $3, you know, 7, 6, whatever, $3, 20. This was for sure several. Oh, there you go, quantity 4. So I bought 4 at $5. Another one at $2, 6 at $18. So I bought like 20 of these. Very inexpensive. Lucario still for the set that's coming out. And I forgot what these are in a PSA 10. Lucario. Let me look that up real quick, because I don't remember. Lucario 114 stamped. $242 in a 10 for this baby right here. And I found a ton of gradable copies on eBay. They're not here yet, of course, but you know, I'm very, very meticulous with my purchases on eBay. So I wasn't going to buy anything that did not look gradable. And look at this on the 4th, $370, $316. Like that's your average, like a market price almost, right? But you have some sales above 255, 369, 316, 250, 375, 350. I might have just gave away one of my plays, but it's okay. You know, I love to share. Yeah, TCG Quant is really cool. Yeah. No, the app's not called Cat. It's just look up the price charting. Just look up price charting. It'll come up. It looks just like this, like the logo. Like it looks like this. A green and blue controller. You'll see it, no problem. Walmart, I don't see any drops as of 12:01. Was there supposed to be a drop today? I did see some notifications from X. Terras, look at that. That's the prismatic, Chinese prismatic terrestrial gathering boxes on eBay with free shipping under 90. Bulk discounts $81. But if you don't get that bulk and you buy it for 90, you're basically paying $100 for this box to chase that one Sylveon. Like it's not worth it to me. What else? Chaos Rising at Macy's. Yeah, I don't see anything today. Is there any? I didn't think there was supposed to be anything today. People send the best of the best for grading, and the gem rate it's on the 30%. That says a lot. Yeah. Once price per pack crosses 9 per pack, things slow down. Look at 151. Yeah, 151 is crazy though. It's at the show they had them for 30. I think we dropped down to 25. I don't know if we're back at 30, but they definitely had them for 30 there. Integra, what's going on, brother? What's up, Jay? Question: Do you do vending? No, I'm looking into it though. If so, it is worth it. If not, you are considering. Yes, I am considering it. Something that my girl is saying she would like to help me do, because 2 people doing it is much better. I get to walk away, use the bathroom. I don't have to ask some random vendor that I just met to watch my table. But I think she enjoyed the vibe as well. Like it was just a fun time. You know, everybody's there to have fun. And to make some purchases, but at the same time, it's supposed to be enjoyable. While we can make money, while having, you know, building connections in the hobby and making friends. I think it would be a really interesting thing to do. I think that, of course, I don't think it's a question as to whether I'd make money or not, especially right now. But I think I'd really, really enjoy it, to be honest. But I am considering it. Do you buy cases of sealed product? If so, where do you buy them from? I've been buying them from eBay. Like honestly, somebody reached out to me recently. You know, it could be anyone, to be honest. Somebody reached out to me recently, which I knew was a trusted person. I spoke to him through Discord, purchased it through Discord, made the payment through PayPal, and he mailed it out. But on eBay, for example, you look for those trusted sellers, and they have booster boxes listed. Like I think the one, what's this guy? I think I might have him saved as well. Saved feed. Let me see. No, that's not where I was trying to look at. Just trying to find this guy. Saved sellers. I think I saved him here. DC Sports. Great. The account name is Great Buys USA. For example, I did buy my Chaos Rising booster box sealed case from here as well. I did pre-order my Pitch Black case as well. It is actually more expensive than when I bought it, of course, because the demand for this set has increased. But yeah, I bought from this guy, for example. This guy has what? 35,000 items sold, 99.7% feedback. That's pretty good. You know, so finding an account like this one kind of saves you the I guess the hassle of just even worrying about like who to buy from. So I don't have any ins, I don't have anything, I don't have any relationship, any crazy relationship with anybody that has access to this drawer or anything like that. I just have to find things like this and just I guess buying when I think is right. And I bought in really early at Pitch Black, which put me at like 233 per box, and I'm fine with that. So yeah, it's really something like that. If you can maybe develop a relationship with the LGS, possibly, depending on whether you have a LGS that does take care of their customers and does sell for MSRP. I know those do exist, not by me. I'm hoping to find one at some point, but not by me. Just letting you guys know, it's already 12:20, and I got to be up early for that graduation. So I'm going to be ending this in the next few minutes. I'm going to try to get through these comments as fast as possible. I did not plan to be on incredibly late, but I appreciate you guys being here. Do you think now would be a good time to buy that Paladin Fades Charizard SIR, or do you think it will drop in price more? I think that after we go through this correction, I think Pokemon's going to start taking off again. I think especially once people are not on vacation anymore, especially with some things pulling back in price, it's going to bring buyers back in a little more. And people eventually will leave Lorcana and One Piece and come right back to Pokemon, especially around the 30th, especially with Rayquaza. I think that if you're finding that you're having a better opportunity right now, I think it'd be a great time to pick up any single right now that has dropped in price. Because I don't know exactly what price, but just knowing that it dropped, if this is an opportunity, it might be a great one. Maybe a week from now, as we still continue with this thing slowing down, maybe you want to wait a week. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with these singles. We just never know. They move so rapidly. But if you find yourself comfortable with the price point right now, it'd probably be a great time to buy because the 30th is going to kick everything right back up. So and the Rayquaza set. So any tips on finding gradable cards at shows? That's really just looking. What I like to do, like my eyes are instantly like drawn to the borders, right? Like let me see a card there where you can see that clearly. Just trying to see a card where you can see it clearly. I think like this card you can see really clearly, the Lucario promo, right? So when I'm looking at the card, you know what? I'm gonna take it out because the glare is too insane. Okay, this card is like fighting me to come out. The glare is too insane with the lights, so I'm just going to take it out of the sleeve. So just so you can see, my eyes are always drawn to where the borders meet. Sorry, I'm trying to so my eyes are always drawn to where the borders meet here. So I could easily compare the size of this border to the size of this border because they're side by side. And then I look at the other borders. I do the same thing going on like the opposite end here. Like I look at this border. Then I look at this border to this border, and I make sure that they're even. Now, once I see that one border is not even to the other border, that means that on the opposite end it's going to be the same thing, just reversed. That border that's too thin is going to be too thick on the other side. So that's what I look for, and I just look at the card. I mean, I once you look at a few cards, I think it gets a little easier to tell the cards that are worth grading and those that are not. So that's really what I do, because you're not gonna. I mean, I know that you have those people that do go to tables, and take their time. um you do have those people that will go to the shows and take their time and do things real quick, like and just hold this card for like 10 minutes, but you don't really have to do that. You can see the surface really quickly, and you can see those borders if you look at those corners really really quickly as well. Guys, give me 1 second. The screen will go black. All right, give me 1 second. All right, we're back. Toad, join the Discord. Yeah, definitely welcome to join the Discord. Ask the vendors if they grade their cars. Most will be honest and let you know. Well, that can be true as well. Jay, I think my grades and consignment play is likely paused until 2027, but that is cool. 30th requires will have so many cards sent. Yeah, I think it just makes sense. I don't see PSA opening up till 2027 anyways, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure that grade and consignment will make you aware at some point. So we'll be ready. We'll be ready. That's the route I really would like to go. I am considering when they do open up the value bulk, I am considering going to the New Jersey facility in the PSA one and just hand dropping it off so that I don't have to worry about mailing it and speed up the process in that sense. Um, and maybe for the first submission, and then from then on, hopefully the grid to consignment does open up at some point. Would the Ascended Heavy Hitters box or Mega EX tints lower the value of the Ascended Heroes? I have 5 Ascended Heroes ETBs and don't know whether to sell or keep on holding them because of the reprints. It might, because the pack per price for Ascended Heroes will drop. A lot of these products are determined by pack per price, but the ETB being also a sealed displayable item and being the top investable item, considered to be the most investable item for a specialty set, it may not drop. So until you hear about a reprint about those ETBs, then I wouldn't worry too much about them dropping in value, because they won't drop that much. What really will drop them is another ETB reprint. That's really what's going to do it. A lot of vendors turn and burn after they have any cards worth grading. That's I will do that next time. Next weekend. 151. You need to just use that to increase other stuff investment. 3 Ascended Heroes ETB will grow more than one. Yeah, exactly. That's just what I'm saying. I think that there's other places you can put your money in that will have a decent amount of appreciation in the time that 151 ETB will grow from 600 to 1,000. Yes, the shiny. Yeah, I bought one. I just bought one. I don't know how many people. You know what it is? So many people are really accustomed to the full arts, right? Like, I bought these other Lucario promos that are half arts, but at the same time, it's a promo, it's stamped, it's a Cosmo Hollow, and then you have this shiny card that people are not really falling in love with those half art shiny cards like that. And that's my only thing. It's the only reason why I bought one. And then I bought these as well because, like I said, I was buying them for $2, $3, $5, like cheap. And the shiny, I think it was like 20 something dollars. I'm not selling any Ascended Heroes or Prismatic. If reprints hit and prices drop, I'll buy more. Yeah, I think that they're great long-term holds. I mean, I think the whole market knows that. I think my mother knows that. I bought 18 McDonald's Rayquaza because of the price. Price trading. Oh, yeah. Thank you for sharing, of course. Was the Lucario a pre-release card? That's the build and battle one. That's the build and battle. Vending is fun and a great way to grow collection, especially if you roll all the money back into it. Yeah, that's what the vendor that I was having that conversation with, he said his collection has really been growing. He's like basically obtaining those cards that he wanted to have in his PC happened to just show up to him, and he gets to buy those, keep them in his PC, continue to turn and burn all that other stuff, and just keep on getting profits. Vending is also a way to build contacts. Exactly what I said. Connections in the hobby, and I think it'll be great. I think it really will be great. Being a vendor would do my head in. Once watching one guy haggle one dude for about an hour over $10. Yeah, I mean sometimes it's not worth it, but at the same time, for me, if I'm in that position, I think I will handle that situation depending on how much I'm in for that product or card, right? Like, I don't want to be that guy that fights over $2. I as a matter of fact, if you come to my table, not you in particular, if a person comes to my table and they're not trying to have a conversation with me and they're just trying to do a business deal and move, I want to get you to my table and out of my table as soon as possible. And I want the next person to show up to my table and be ready. As a matter of fact, I can't even tell you how many times I showed up to a table and I waited like 10 minutes to ask about a card, to the point where I was like, you know what? If it becomes available, I'll circle back around. And I promise you that I did not make it back to any of those tables that I did that with, because there was people just wasting time at their tables, and so didn't make a sale with me because of that. So, and it's also like a business thing. Like, I feel like I said, I feel like people haven't been around. Like, you clearly haven't had a regular job growing up. I mean, like at least one of the ones that I've had, like even working at a restaurant. And a restaurant, they want you in and out of that table as fast as possible. They want your money in their pockets and you gone as fast as possible. They won't tell you that. They'll be nice to you, but it's going to be the same thing with any other business. You want the person to come in, make that business deal and move on so that you can get to the next one. You want to get through as many of those people at that card show as possible. And some of those people definitely lost opportunity in me buying from them because of people wasting their time at the table. Olivia, what's up? Ascended Heroes ETBs are a 5-year play. Just hold them and don't think about them. Yeah. This is why I don't like the collector app. It is the collector app and the shiny app and things like that are good to know what you have, but I do not like to track any of the things that I hold. I don't want to know the prices. I literally want to set it and forget it. I don't want to acknowledge what's been happening with them. I want to actually hold for a certain amount of time, look back on them, and then think about the price point and how much is depreciated. And then that's that. That's the way I want to do it. That those apps a lot of times, like just thinking about something and wondering whether it's going to drop in price and raise in price. If you are a long-term holder, those are the kind of things that make people like get scared, sell, and do things too early. So I don't do that. My Strata Fable is doing pretty good. It was unpopular and bought it at 39 in ETB. Yeah, exactly. And I think one day more and more people are going to look back the same way how these singles have been appreciating and just these insane multiples for a set like Strata Fable that everybody hated. Eventually, even more people are going to look back and say, "Whoa, what is that set from? Wow, that Houndoom is sick. What else did that set have? Let me see what else they got." And then they're going to fall in love with more cards in there. It's the way it always works. Pokebonks, what is up? You came at the very, very last bit. I'm literally about to hop off the live right now. We're 2 hours in. We're 2 hours in, bro, and it's 12:30, brother, and I have to be up early tomorrow. But thank you for showing up at the last second. Ironhead, you're welcome, brother. Thank you for showing up. Guys, I'm gonna be hopping off here. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Of course, I hope you guys enjoy being here. Like the stream for sure. And yeah, guys, outside of that, I appreciate you guys. The Discord is in the description for those of you that do want to join. You're welcome to talk. Like I said before, talk single, sealed. A lot of helpful people in there, and you could join in and be one of those helpful people as well. So we have a great community in there. I appreciate you guys. But sorry, I gotta end the stream. I appreciate you guys being here. It was really fun. This is like one of the most fun things. Like I like making videos, but talking to you guys is much more fun than making videos, to be honest. Like this is one of the best things about being a YouTube content creator. Thank you for the Father's Day stream. You're welcome, brother. Guys, once again, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Be safe out there, of course. Don't go to those drops. People are crazy out there. But be safe out there, guys. All right. Take care. Peace.